Okay, one of the other big topics when we think about pregnancy is breastfeeding. And this is obviously after the fact. The baby has arrived, and more so, we are being again encouraged. It was funny because when I went through it the first two, it was kind of half and half as far as, yeah, you can breastfeed and it's good. You know, it was still quite recommended, but in a sense it was like, yeah, but it's okay to not really try too hard.
Right.
You know,
right.
like there's formula. Don't worry about it.
Yeah.
You know, so I remember with my daughter, unfortunately, it was more of a challenge. Mm-hmm. I did manage to do 3 months with her, but then it just got, and everybody around me was saying, well, don't worry about it. Formula. With my son, I managed to do, I was more determined this time around, and he actually had a bigger challenge. He had an underdeveloped chin when he was born, and he didn't have a rooting reflex. So I had to work really hard at teaching him how to breastfeed.
Right.
So it was, and so once I got him to learn, I was like, well, I'm going to stick with this for as long as I could, and that was, we went about 7.5 months, and so I was like, okay, well, you know, we went that long, that was pretty good. Yeah. Now, the thing that shocked me once, though, was I had this other interview with Cheryl at one point for one of my documentaries, and we started talking about breast milk somehow. It came up, and the whole comparison between breast milk and formula, which is better. Mm-hmm. And her answer really shocked me. It really did. Because as much as that when I went through that phase, I still did fully believe that breastfeeding is the better way to go. Period.
It is the better way to go.
Right.
But only if the breast milk is, how can I say, nutritious.
This was the thing, and I had never even stopped to question, what do you mean, is your breast milk nutritious? It's breast milk.
Well, if you don't have, if you're not eating a nutritious diet, and you're not putting it, I mean, you're depleted before you even, you come to the nursing part. Yeah. The breast milk will be only as healthy as what you can put in it. It can't, as I say, take blood from a stone, so to speak. Right. It can't create that. So what kind of, it didn't surprise me, because when I talked to a person who, Marlene, who did this thesis on which one's healthier, and I don't know all the details, I've never got to see, and I just met, I just ran into her last year and told her this, is like, she said, well, with her thesis was, she proved that breast milk and formula were equal.
Right.
That one really wasn't healthier than the other. And when I thought about it, I said, yeah, I would agree, because breast milk doesn't necessarily mean it's healthy because it's breast milk.
Right. Which was, I guess foolishly my assumption. Breast milk is healthier. Period. Well, bottom line. No matter what. And that was just, I was so determined to believe that I didn't question, well, what goes into it? How is breast milk made? Really, I guess it's the whole manufacturing process.
So it's looking at what's in the formula today, is because they continue to change the formula. And now I think they put like fish oils and stuff like that in it, which in my mind wouldn't be a positive thing. Right. So it's looking at the formula and what it is. And so if a baby's not getting nourishing breast milk, and at the same time they're getting things that might cause allergies or causing oxidative stress and all of that, then it's a double whammy for the children. It's no I'm not going to say that that's the only reason, but you can see how the rise of autism and ADHD and allergies would make sense when you have this going on.
Okay, so with that in mind, I'm still going to lean on the side of, well, I want to have breastfeeding. I want to have breast milk for my child.
Yes.
Therefore, how can I make sure that my breast milk is the healthiest possible? What is that determining factor? Or, okay, we know that it's the food we're eating. However, there's a big component of omega-3.
Yeah, the 50% of the breast milk will be like fat. And
right.
so, I mean, if you just kind of round it about, 50% of it is fat and the other 50% is amino acid. And we're particularly talking about the colostrum because the breast milk will change. And within that is primarily the essential fats and the omega-3s, which would be DHA and DPA, not EPA. And this would, again, further develop the brain, right, and further develop the eyes, and further develop the systems, the whole neural system, the neurons as well.
Okay. So, again, when we are able to supplement that, because during the third trimester, we have already given a lot of our hopefully stored supplies. If not stored supplies, then we've been supplementing for that crucial third trimester, obviously beforehand as well, but that is when they highly recommend to have that extra support. We've given that away. As you know, I've talked about that, giving your brain away. You've given that part away now. Now you're going into breastfeeding, and you want to make sure you've replenished that.
For the person who just had the baby, the mother, absolutely consistent. I would even do it in pregnancy.
Yes.
But definitely, if the time is you've had a baby, and you've just had a baby, then to replenish those essential fatty acids. If you're breastfeeding, the mother just takes it, and it will come through her breast milk to continue the development of the brain. And then she'll be able to replenish what she needs as well.
Right.
So that's the ideal situation. If for some reason the mother couldn't breastfeed,
right,
which I firmly believe most can, you just need that guide.
Yes.
You need to have that guide.
Like I said, I had no rooting reflex and an underdeveloped chin.
Yeah.
And we figured out a way. And I kudos to those nurses who were there, because I wouldn't have been able to figure it out on my own. They were there, and they supported me, and they encouraged me, and they were fabulous. Those nurses were fabulous, and because I was, already, you're emotional, you're, this and that, and then your baby's not breastfeeding. So they were wonderful, and they got me through that, and he learned. Yeah. He learned, and he actually, amazingly enough, fairly quickly, considering the challenge that it was. So
yeah. It's doable. I encourage everybody to try again. I mean, there's a couple of people that I know that I give their names out all the time.
Yeah.
But it's getting a guide, and don't, maybe it's another guide, maybe it's, so whether it's the certain schools or doulas or midwives and things like that, they'll probably know more than the average person. So yeah, but if they don't breastfeed for whatever reason, maybe you did stop and it's already dried up, or pain or whatever, we're not making you feel guilty.
No,
I mean, that's absolutely not. You can actually give the Omegas, the sublingual D, directly to the baby. Just put a couple of drops on a daily basis, that kind of thing. So you can actually, mother take it too,
yes,
and then you just give some to the baby. Right.